The one red flag for me that we didn't cover, and it would open up a whole bag of worms. I'll just make a comment. I just randomly typed in Palantir NHS. Do you know what the first result was?
Yeah,
Trump's.
it was probably, hold on. It was probably the BBC like arguing why they shouldn't be involved because of their privacy concerns with healthcare, right?
Yes, so the very first one was from The Guardian, and it says Palantir, Trump backers data firm that wants a big deal. And you have to kind of laugh at like just the absurdity of why being an investor who protects himself, it's so important.
Yeah, I think for that we have to thanks to Open Democracy and George Soros for pumping Guardian against all the FUD against Palantir in last few years.
Yeah, but guys, wouldn't it? This is goes right back into what I've been trying to say. This can be solved by dividing their commercial and their government divisions, right? Where the commercial can be spinned off into a non-Peter Thiel related thing that's completely separate from this whole Palantir. Because right now, Palantir's name has a ton of stains on it and a lot of blood on it,
So,
and no one, yeah.
I discussed this with the Palantir guys also because like last time the Guardian article came and I was talking to them. See, whatever damage has happened has happened. Okay, the damage is done. From this point onward, and the way the macro is changing, actually people are getting more open about it. That a lot of things we have been following and opinions, yeah, it's not valid anymore. So I'm against separating government business and commercial business as two separate companies. You have two different business lines and you can run it as separate as possible, but company has to be the one. Okay, that's my opinion. Okay, if they separate the companies out, I'll probably even divest out of this. Okay, because I'm not sensitive that the cash is coming from commercial or cash is coming from government. Cash is cash. Okay, second thing is it's very difficult to build a place in a government business. So if you are in, why you lose your position there? Okay, the see, if you see like when the Trump was president and the kind of coverage he was getting, it was pretty bad. If you see the liberal channels, and and I used to watch a lot of those. Okay, but if now Biden is president, and we see how it is doing, so it is very difficult for me now to see like, okay, was that Trump was untouchable? Was that untouchable as seeing what Biden is doing? And the way I think about it, I think there are at least a lot of people who think that yes, we were against Trump, but liberals are not doing as good either also. Okay, so all these articles that comes in Guardian and all that, yes, at one time they had a sense and tone, but a lot of people actually don't care about that anymore. And a lot of industries, if you can make money for them, they'll go and touch you. They will not make you untouchable. Okay, if you go to 98, 99, the kind of sentiment Microsoft had, yeah, what happened with Microsoft at the end of the day, everybody wanted them to split. They still survived and they're still doing pretty good on that part. Of course, Bill Gates got his own foundation to clean his image and everything. So it's just a phase, and we just need to, yeah, it will be over. I'm not
Well,
concerned
Chris
about it.
doesn't think it's going to be over, right? Chris, that's why you're concerned with this whole government stuff.
No, the thing is, both from an execution standpoint and from a public perception standpoint, spinning off the commercial would make a lot of sense, right? One, you completely go commercial right now. All right, I'll tackle it in three different sections. Number one, commercial is growing much faster, deserves a higher valuation. Right there is point number one. Point two, because commercial is not involved with government-related work and issues around privacy, that basically Palantir has kind of stepped in it and is known to be this spyware company. Once again, there's a lot of players that are hesitant to work with them, or they have employees that will prevent them from working with Palantir, specifically because of the bad public perception. So that's the second reason. By spinning off the commercial side, you kind of take away from that original Palantir name, right? And the last but not least, the go-to-market strategy right now for commercial is completely different how you sell to a commercial client versus how you sell to a government client. Right now, there might be a little too much overlap and also some competition among the two divisions for resources. Right now, that's the other thing. Yeah.
Chris, that's perfectly fine. Having in company managing companies internal friction is a whole different thing. And in my circle at least, and I could be an anomaly, is there is a lot of awareness about this thing, that few people sitting, like there are only very few people in the world who are deciding what is right and wrong. This is not acceptable. I mean, in Asia there is a lot of dissatisfaction about it, that European leaders or Canadian leaders and US leader telling us, okay, you should be doing this. Why we should be doing this? So the same dissatisfaction, when I talk to a lot of people in, even in my friends in Europe and US, they also have it. So this whole idea, like when we talk about that, why government business is hurting them because of this idea the Silicon Valley has generated, that working with government is a bad thing, people are raising questions against. You see, tide will not change in a day, because this culture has grown up with a generation. Now people are asking question back and challenging them back, that what you said, it's not valid. And actually in the issues we are looking in terms of Russia and Ukraine, I mean, yeah, you can post all kind of messages in social media, it doesn't matter. Somebody has to take an AK-47 or a Javelin and has to stand in front of Russian army there. Okay, then somebody has to support them on the ground. You need people there. People are getting more open about it, that these issues and the view that industry has developed. Like we discussed about ESG. I mean, 3 years back, BlackRock was telling, not Blackstone. Blackstone is actually the biggest PE investor of oil and gas. BlackRock was saying we should stop investing in fossil fuel. People were saying in 2030, I mean, you will own nothing and you will be happy. I mean, who is saying this? WEF is saying this, an organization that was started by Klaus Schwab. Okay, people are asking why these people are dictating our life. Okay, like for example, I was helping an ESG fund earlier this year and earlier last year, and they gave me I mean, we were discussing, a lot of companies had a lot of good ratings, and I said, do you understand what does it mean, the ratings there? Are sitting in Malaysia or Indonesia, where a lot of our clients are actually very devoted Muslims, and we are going to talk to them, and they'll say, okay, why this company is doing, and we say this company has a high rating because they endorse the recent and the whatever events happening that includes LGBTQ. I mean, do I support LGBTQ? Yes, but when I'm investing in front of my investor, my fiduciary duty is, where do you want to invest? Are you comfortable with it? Getting him the right information. So there are a lot of people asking questions about it. So all this FUD that has damaged Palantir by Peter Thiel supporting Trump, I think that damage is over. It has happened. People will be upset about it, but I don't think it matters moving forward. If people are going to take care of this point moving forward, that working with government is a bad thing, and any company who is going to push it, that company should be penalized. And this was exactly the mission where Palantir started, that few people sitting in Silicon Valley or in Wall Street or meeting in Davos can decide what world is doing. And this is why I'm invested very long in, because I believe that is the right way of doing the things forward. So I'm very strong in terms of opinion that Palantir government business and commercial business has to stay together, and whatever friction we have and whatever opinions we have around it, it should not hurt company in a long term. I could be wrong about it, but that's my opinion.